All right, welcome back. Today, we're going to dive into one of the most, I think, profound cards in the Major Arcana, Strength. And right off the bat, I want to be clear. This isn't about muscle power. Nope. It's about that quiet, unshakable power that comes directly from the heart. I mean, just look at this card. It's pretty striking, right? You've got this woman, gently, almost lovingly, closing the mouth of a lion. Now, when you think of the word strength, is that the first image that pops into your head? Probably not. And that's exactly why this card is so important. It's here to challenge us, to make us completely rethink what true power really looks like. So here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about this different kind of strength. Then we'll get into the symbolism, taming that inner lion. After that, we'll explore what I call soft control, dig into its fiery astrological roots, and wrap things up with what it means for you when this card shows up in a reading. Okay, let's jump right in. What makes the strength in this card so different? Well, it's a complete shift away from what we usually think of, brute force or dominating a situation. The Strength card is pointing to something much, much deeper, something way more resilient. Think about it. Physical power can fade, right? But this is that quiet internal fortitude. It's the engine that keeps you going when things get really tough. It's all about courage and that solid, unshakable resolve that comes from deep inside. I love this quote. It calls inner strength an exercise of the heart muscle. And that's just perfect, isn't it? It's not something you're just born with. It's something you build, through experience, through challenges. It's the composure you somehow find in the middle of a crisis, or that grit to see something through to the very end. That is the real essence of the Strength card.
All right, now let's get into the fun stuff, the imagery, because this is where the card story really, really comes alive. The symbolism here is just so rich. So the most important thing to notice is what's happening right in the center. The lion, obviously, is a huge symbol of raw power, of passion. But look closely. She's not fighting it. She's not trying to conquer it. She's gently guiding it. She's not using force at all. It's this calm, loving approach. She's working with the beast, not against it. It's a huge difference. This one image basically tells you everything you need to know. Let's break it down. The woman, that's our higher self, our calm resolve. The lion, well, that's all our primal urges, our passions, our anger, our desires. That infinity symbol floating over her head, that's our infinite potential. And the chain of flowers, this is so beautiful, it's called the sweet yoke. It's this idea that when you align your passions with your higher purpose, even the heaviest burden can feel light and, well, beautiful. One of the best ways to really get what makes Strength's power so unique is to put it side by side with another major power card, the Chariot. So the Chariot is what we might call hard control. This is all about victory through pure, sheer force of will. It's about dominating your environment, wrestling your emotions into submission, and crushing your impulses so you can stay on track and win. It's a very external, very assertive kind of power. And this contrast really makes the Strength card pop. See? Where the Chariot is hard control, Strength is soft control. The Chariot dominates, but Strength guides. The Chariot curbs impulses with an iron fist, while Strength, well, it tempers that same force with patience and compassion. I guess it really is the difference between conquering your inner beast and actually befriending it. Okay, so every Major Arcana card is plugged into a powerful archetypal energy. And for the Strength card, that energy is pure, unfiltered fire. Yup, its element is fire. And if you know your tarot, that's the exact same energy that fuels the entire suit of wands. We're talking about passion, action, creativity, that spark that really gets things moving. And this is so important because it tells us that the compassion of the Strength card isn't passive. It's not just sitting back. It's an active, fiery, creative force for change. And of course, it just makes perfect sense that the astrological sign for this card is Leo, the lion. This links it directly to themes of courage, leadership, and the power of the heart. Leo is ruled by the sun, right? It just radiates that same confidence and vitality that is so central to the Strength card's whole vibe. So what does this all mean for you? What's the core message when the Strength card actually shows up in one of your readings? Well, when it's upright, Strength is an absolutely fantastic sign to see. It's telling you that your courage, your inner power, and your compassion are all leading you to success. It's basically confirming that you've got this.
Now, reversed, the message kind of flips. It can be a warning about weakness or self-doubt, or it could be pointing to an abuse of power, trying to use that brute force chariot energy when what's really needed is a much gentler touch.
So, really, think of this card as a guide. A lot of the time, it shows up just to remind you that you absolutely have the inner resources to get through whatever you're facing. It's a big don't give up sign. But sometimes it's a gentle nudge, a little reminder to be patient, especially if you've been pushing way too hard. It's suggesting that your greatest power, right here and now, is going to come from love, forbearance, and compassion.
And that really brings us to the card's deepest lesson, doesn't it? It's all about applying the right kind of power to the right situation. So, I'm going to leave you with a question to mull over. Where in your own life are you trying to use brute force when what's really needed is that gentle, courageous fortitude?